What is going on, everybody? This is going to be a breakdown of the group stage game between Serious Mo and Skimbo from Group A from the Madden 17 Championship this past weekend. Definitely a battle of two titans, so let's jump right into it. Mo on offense with the Cowboys, Skimbo on defense with the Patriots. First thing I noticed on this first play of the game, Skimbo, interestingly, comes out in dollar rather than his normal slant zone 2 look. Could be something that he noticed with Mo's offense where he thought dollar might be more effective. Maybe he wasn't having much success running that slant zone 2 against Mo in the past, and maybe he thought, dollar would be a little more effective. Could have been a multitude of reasons, but definitely the first interesting thing that pops out on me. So let's go ahead and see how this drive develops here. Skimbo gets, that's pretty unlucky for Mo. That's nothing that Skimbo did right there. That was just a pretty glitchy pass rush by that defensive end right here. Just loops straight in, untouched. Mo's right tackle rather just doesn't even acknowledge him, and Skimbo gets instant heat. If that was guaranteed, I can guarantee you every single person on planet Earth playing Madden right now would be running DB Fire 2 press and nothing else. So Mo, in this Titans book, I don't think he ran Titans book before. I'm pretty sure he was in New Orleans in the last tournament. He was running that gun tight offset tight end, so he's definitely been labbing. You can tell he's in this gun tight flex, which is only found in the Titans and the Bucks formations, as far as I'm concerned. Also, it might be in the pass balanced. Now that I think about, or no, not pass balanced. I think it's in run and gun. But no one runs run and gun. No one runs Bucks. If you see tight flex, it's 99.9% chance they're in the Titans. They kind of have the best complementary formations to go along with that tight flex. So interesting note right there for Mo that he's in this new offense. So definitely a new look for Mo. Skimbo's going to have to figure out what he wants to do. Right there, Mo goes with the low pass to Randy Moss. Unfortunately, bad throw by Aaron Rodgers there. I like it. That's a really effective strategy, passing concept, I guess, this year. You see a lot of these compressed formations. It got popular out of the jumbo heavy, but you can translate it to, this gun tight flex, single back tight slots, gun snugs, gun tight doubles on even, gun tight offset tight end. You run this flat route with this outside receiver, and it does a really good job of pulling these flat zones out towards the sideline. And then this receiver right here sneaks in behind him on that corner route, and this part of the field's usually pretty open. So definitely an effective route combo that you see a lot of this year. 3rd and 20, early in the game. Mo blocks 7, goes for the flood, hits Moss over the middle. Good play by Mo there. Saw he was under pressure. I think Skimbo made the right call here, sending that pressure on 3rd and 20. I definitely wouldn't let Mo just sit back and pick me apart. Mo makes the good playmaker right there. Instant playmaker, probably about as early as you can playmaker the man right there. And that's what you see, those playmaker wide receivers like Randy Moss, like Chad Johnson, getting more and more almost in everybody's lineups at this point in the year because that playmaker ability chemistry is so good. So playmaker, good 13-yard gain right there for Mo, make it a 4th and manageable. So let's see what he can do here. Right here, Skimbo going with the dollar look. Interesting way to run it. He's shifting his linebackers over to create this look off this edge right here. So maybe that symbolizes, hey, I'm thinking about sending some pressure off this edge. It identifies to Mo that, hey, Skimbo's got to be using this guy. Also, another thing to note, Skimbo's safety is very far up in the box. This is something that I think is a good strategy against these compressed formations, especially tight flex. Since tight flex doesn't, you're not really in danger of getting hit by like a wheel route up the sideline or anything like you are maybe at a gun bunch type of look. Yes, tight flex does have wide receiver cross, which does have a wheel route in it, but that play is very rarely seen. Definitely not a play you see called often, so it's not really something a lot of people would plan for when defending this tight flex formation. So that's something to note. Very aggressive posture by Skimbo safeties, which I think was kind of made popular by Mills out of that nickel blitz when, Mills just sends 6 pretty much every play and brings his safeties up really far and dares you to try and make a quick read, basically. So interesting look right there by Skimbo. Kind of a look, if I were Mo, saying like, okay, I think he's going to send some pressure, and he does. He sends dual edge, sends 5. Looks like he drops 6 in this DB Fire 2 press. You see flat zone, deep, flat, and it looks like Skimbo just went with the stock Or no, Skimbo actually sent 4 here. So he sends 4 and gets 2 free off the edge. So Skimbo apparently looks like he's got a special setup cooked up for this DB Fire 2 press. And he's got 3 guys over the short middle of the field kind of really locking up Mo. So sending 4, dropping 7, and getting 2 in off the edge, pretty tough for anybody to do anything against. And right here, Mo ends up having to throw that ball right there before he gets hit, and it gets picked off by Skimbo. So no sense in just taking the sack. Might as well throw it. You see, this is the bench concept Mo went to on second down. He's got the flat, and then you go with the corner. Skimbo does a good job right here, using one of them. And usually the general rule is, Skimbo's going to run out here and user this one. When you run this type of play, you throw it to whichever corner he doesn't user. So, I mean, not that it was a good read. Mo didn't really have a read. Everything was locked up. Good defense by Skimbo. But Mo fundamentally made the right decision. Throw it to the corner that's not being usered. Maybe the CPU defender freaks out, defends it poorly, whatever. Anything could happen, really. Goes with the low pass to Randy Moss. Mark Barron does a good job of sitting in front of it and picking it off for Skimbo. So you kind of see on the first drive, you see Mo's new look offense. On defense here, he's in this 4-6 normal, cover 2 invert, very popular play out of this defense. I'm not sure exactly what Mo was running throughout the game in this defense. It's been a while since I've watched this game, but we'll see as the game goes on. I'll be able to get a look at his backside coverages. But obviously Skimbo in this gun bunch, he lives and dies in gun bunch, and he does a lot more living than dying. So we'll see how Mo can cook up a defense to stop this. Corner strike first play, that's something Skimbo almost always will do, is go corner strike and just hit the table route on the first play of the game. Tempo, HB base here. So I like it, HB base, get the first down. So now you're almost basically in a first and goal situation. First and 10 at the 11. So really you have four downs to score a touchdown here. So once again, I went over this in the last game when Skimbo played Killer Mike. Killer Mike had no answer for this, but this red zone offense at a gun bunch, you have to be prepared for 2 plays, and there's big tells on which play they're going to run. If they motion this Randy Moss receiver outside to the left, Skimbo does this a lot. And another note is he'll always have the bunch to the wide side of the field to give himself more space. If he motions Randy Moss out to the side, you should know it's probably going to be verticals, and Randy Moss is going to be running that wheel route up the sideline, and he's going to try and hit him in that tender area down the sideline in the corner of the end zone for a high point. Now, that's one way. The other play that he likes to run that it's pretty popular across, a lot of people's offenses now is they'll run corner strike here, and they'll motion Moss in a step and snap him to get that delayed corner out. He'll get motioned, he'll get snapped, and then he'll run, he'll kind of delay, and then he'll run, and then cut to the corner right there. So it's almost like a weird C route type of deal, but it hits that special part of the field that makes, C routes and those, snug corner routes so popular and so effective. It's kind of just a window-dressed way of throwing one of those corner routes. So the point is that both of those plays, you have clear tells on what play they're going to run based off the motion, the pre-snap motion. So right here, let's see what Skimbo does. So Skimbo motions out, so Mo should immediately be thinking, okay, motion out, you need to defend this area of the field right here. Whether it be one man, whether it be 2 guys, you need to defend that part of the field against that Randy Moss wheel route down the sideline. And you see Gibbs calling it out on the screen right there. Skimbo goes to it, and Moss catches it at the 1. So go ahead and break this down. Looks like Mo was in nickel, rushes 3. Looks like a cover 4, but this guy right here in this quarter, the far left quarter, just doesn't get out there quick enough. I really think, honestly, I'm not sure what the most effective way to stop it is. I would feel more comfortable going with a man up right there, and even if Moss is going to high point the ball over almost anybody, but if you can at least man him up and get a guy, okay, so say you can accept Moss catching the ball in the high point, but then hopefully your guy's in the vicinity able to swat the ball out of his hands or something. Whereas I feel like in zone coverage, the defenders too often get lost like that guy just did. Whereas if it was man, he'd be at least on top of Moss right now and have a shot at breaking it up. But that's just me. I think that would be a better way to trying to defend that route. But good route by Skimbo there. But it's something that it's a clear tell. You should know it's coming. and then the next play sneaks it in. So Skimbo goes up 7-0 on Mo early in the first. So we'll see what Mo can do out of this gun-tight flex. Block 7 goes with the flood again. Playmaker over the middle. Nice dot down the sideline to Chad Johnson. So that's what makes those deep corner routes so tough this year. This guy's probably in a cloud flat out there for Skimbo, but the cloud flats don't get deep enough to cover this deep corner route, and it really stretches that safety out of the cover 2. The safety will almost always cheat inside to play against the inside streak. And so, as you see right there, Mike Evans drifts towards the inside to guard against the streak. Mo identifies it, delivers a dime like 40 yards down the field to Chad Johnson. So good dot by Mo right there.
Safety gets the corner up behind the
HB draw. Something to note, this gun-tight flex, the only run play out of it is the HB draw. So that's just good knowledge to have if you are playing against this formation, knowing, they can't hit you with an HB base or anything like that. Tip drill Mike Evans with the pick right there. And this is Mo kind of going for a shot play here. Goes for the swerve against the cover 2. That's the popular way to swerve cover 2. I mean, you don't really see it often because I don't think it's a very high probability play, I guess you could say. I don't think the chances of it working are super high unless you're like Volterax. But the way you swerve cover 2 that kind of caught on earlier in the year was you use these inside streak routes from these compressed formations to run straight at the defender, and it gives them a better angle to swerve against that cover 2. It seems like swerving is you have a better shot at doing it if your receiver's running straight at the defender and the defender's having to run like back with the receiver. So Mo goes for the swerve here, but clicks on, kind of messes it up. You see the hitch step. It's not very clean. Hopkins loses his momentum, and even if he had done a clean swerve, I still don't think it would have worked. That's just a lot of congestion. I think Mo kind of tunneled on that one to hit Skimbo back with a big play and ended up kind of paying for it. So interesting decision there by Mo. I'd be surprised if I saw him try that again this game unless he gets super desperate. So gun bunch again for Skimbo. Corner strike right here. And you see right there, this is why I'm a big proponent of you need to be running double flats on the side of the running back out of gun bunch. Either you need to run double flats or you need to run a cloud flat with someone manned up on the halfback, because this corner strike will just eat you up all day if you don't have double flats. You have the flat route and then the C route behind it. Mo only has a flat defender out here. Looked like a hard flat. This man shot down to cover the table route. Nobody in the vicinity to guard the C route. An easy read for Skimbo right there. About as easy as it gets out of that gun bunch. Free 17 yards, whatever it was. Or 23 yards, rather. So Mo needs to adjust to that. Definitely something you need to take into account when playing gun bunch. So right there, Mo does a better job. I like the adjustment from Mo. He shoots out immediately. He knows he has a cloud flat right here by this defender. So Mo shoots out to guard the flat immediately. And then you'll actually see him. He guards the flat and then peels back around. He's not really going to get to use or anything because there's no routes over the middle on this play for Skimbo. Skimbo runs the table and the C route on the right side, and he'll run just a standard flat corner streak flood on the left. But already you see the adjustment from Mo. He knows he's got a cloud flat. He knows he needs to clamp down on the hard flat. Good defense by Mo, forcing the throwaway. So I like the super quick adjustment right there from Mo already in this game.
That can happen when you're in a live final. Kicking's not as easy.
Mixing extra points is a great remedy to lose games, though.
He's got to watch. That's a ridiculous throw by Aaron Rodgers, my lord. All right, so this is something Skimbo likes to do out of the Z spot here. He'll block 6, and then what he'll do is he has this post route over the middle, and then he'll have a variety of other routes. Usually it's a streak right here. He'll do the delay slant over the middle, and then the running back, in this case, he puts him on a wheel. But what you'll see is Skimbo, he'll roll out all the way with Rodgers, and this deep post route, unless it's manned up, it's going to get open against zone. There's not a zone in the game that will play this deep post route. Not even at that area, but as it crosses the field, it gets into this tender area over here, and because of this streak route running down the seam right here, it pulls the zones deep, and this Z spot deep post really gets in behind it very tenderly. So you'll see that right here. Skimbo wasn't able to set his feet under pressure here. If he was able to set his feet, he might have been able to throw this, but this is still a ridiculous throw by Aaron Rodgers. On the run off 1 foot, about to get hit. He launches a 55-yard dime. But Mo almost picks it off right there. Almost jumps it and picks it off. But you'll see that as a recurring theme from Skimbo's offense. That's the main way he generates his big plays downfield, is with that route combo right there. Right here you see verticals. Good check down by Skimbo right there. This is usually a cover 2 style beater defense. Mo does a good job of, it doesn't look like he's in a cover 2. It looks like a cover 3 type of shell. But you have this guy down the sideline, this guy doing this down the seam, and then Skimbo was wisely put a check down right there over the middle. A lot of times, if it's not cover 2, they'll immediately look to this deep crossing route, but as you can see, Mo manned somebody up, so Skimbo was forced to check it down. Still picks up about 8 or 9 yards there. So good D by Mo to lock down the deeper routes, but good recognition by Skimbo to see that his deep routes were locked up. Check it down, puts him in field goal range here, and he's able to kick the field goal. So Mo back on offense, needs to get something going, down to 10. Gun doubles. 4 verticals? Wow, 4 verticals.
Trailing by 10. Lobs it up.
That was beautiful. Most players, all he did right here was it was a playmaker to the delayed route out the backfield. Skimbo using it. Most players would bullet this and throw a pick. Mo, with the patience and the awareness to throw a touch pass right here, and teardrops it right over Skimbo's user. So beautiful improv right there by Mo.
Touch, throw it over Skimbo's defender, get a big.
These guys want Group A.
Looks like he's going to the ground game here twice in a row, picking up pretty decent chunks, so he might have found something against this dollar defense from Skimbo.
So it's good to see him knock it.
Something to note here, Mo comes out in this gun-type flex, and he has Lonnie Pryor, his fullback, at running back. I'm assuming that's to help with pass protection, but that can kind of be a dead giveaway. Hey, I have a fullback at running back. I have zero intentions of running the football. And so that's just more information Skimbo can go off of when making adjustments on defense.
And sticking to his game plan.
He substitutes Lonnie.
Looks like Mo's going for a right side flood concept here. Has to step up in the pocket, and that was crazy.
Goes play action. And that's tipped.
So something to note here, you might say like, oh, why did Hopkins not even react to the football? This ball wasn't being thrown to Hopkins. If you see right here, if I pause it, you see Mo instantly got control of Chad Johnson. This was intended for Chad Johnson. The game gives you control of when you put in the input. You can see Mo pressed Y for an aggressive catch input. Whatever input you put into the game, it'll show you the receiver that's like acting on that input, I guess you could say. So this was intended for Chad Johnson down the seam, but since Mo was getting hit as he threw, it got severely underthrown. He happened to have DeAndre Hopkins crossing right there on a shallow in route. And so Hopkins doesn't react because the ball's not intended for him. Hits off his helmet, and then Hopkins ends up making the catch anyway. So kind of a crazy sequence right there. I know Mo complained about he was wide open and it bounced off his helmet, but that wasn't even the intended receiver. So that was, for all intents and purposes, intended from a gameplay standpoint. That's kind of how the game's programmed right there. Mo tries to step in the pocket, gets slung down like a rag doll and almost fumbles. So 2nd and 15, Skimbo staying in this dollar formation right here. You see super wide splits from these corners right here. Usually they're kind of a little further in, and this might signal that, you know, those wider splits can help generate that pressure. Sometimes you split them out a little wider and the O-lineman won't pick them up. So this should signal probable pressure right here from Skimbo if I were Mo. And the first quarter runs out there.
That, Scott, is when it comes to his
right there, double edge from Skimbo. Beautiful playmaker by Mo up the field. And that's what I talked about earlier with these receivers. This is the Chad Johnson playmaker item. Put him on an in route, playmaker him up the seam. He immediately cuts straight up field, gets behind, looked like that man might have been on a spy right there for Skimbo, and turns a play where there was nobody open into a 9-yard gain right there for Mo. So going to this trips tight end first time all game. So this is definitely, him being in trips tight end definitely says, okay, it's Titans playbook if there were any doubts before.
Always has a strong chance to block, Shed, when he goes up against us.
Looks like he's going to go with the right side flood concept. This deep corner route right here to this tight end, one of my favorite routes in the game. It's basically just like a deep corner route, the same one that Mo hit earlier in the game. Cloud flats just don't drop far enough to defend it, but a lot of times it'll cut underneath these deep zones, so it's really tough. You kind of have to man it up to be able to stop it. And then also on this play, you have some pretty good backside routes. You have this shallow crossing route, and then you have a deep crossing route. And then the far left receiver's on a post route, but you can kind of do whatever you want with him. So we'll see how Mo chooses to run it here. Yeah, as you see, so you have the shallow crossing route, the deep crossing route from this wide receiver. Looks like Mo might have put this man on a slant. So you kind of have a 3-level flood over the middle of the field, and then you're going to have this tight end's going to break to the sideline right there. It looks like Skimbo doing a pretty good job of covering this all up. If we pause it right here, this tight end's bracketed, which that's kind of the player you want to go to. I'm sure Skimbo knows the tendency of this formation out of this Titans playbook. Skimbo does a good job using over the middle, so Mo makes the only read he really could make and tries to fit it into DeAndre Hopkins right here in that window. Just not able to hold on to it right there, so he has to take 3. So Skimbo back out, up 7, gun bunch. And he's going for the Z-spot route again. And Mo needs to make the adjustment. Killer Mike did a good job of making this adjustment against Skimbo. He failed to adjust in other places. But what Killer Mike was doing was he would always man up Deion Sanders on this receiver right here, so that whenever Skimbo did run, this super deep post route over the middle of the field, Deion, he was actually cross-manning him, so Deion would always be like 1 step ahead and run stride for stride with that post route, and it was shutting down Skimbo's downfield passing game. Mo didn't make this adjustment. You see right here, Mo has nobody manned up on that receiver. Just nothing but deep zones down there. Nobody running with that receiver. And that's going to happen every time against zone. You see what happens. This A receiver pulls all of the coverage deep with it as he runs downfield. And that just opens up this man to slide in underneath. And it'd be a huge deep bomb. And you can't really use that if you're Mo, because you have to worry about so many other things over the middle of the field, such as that delayed slant, such as, you see right here, Skimbo playmaker. Skimbo actually could have hit the delayed slant, but he saw that that post route was going to come open. So he decided to take the easy gain of, 50 rather than checking it down to the slant. So definitely something Mo needs to adjust to right here. And it looks like on the play after Skimbo hits the seam, play kind of got cut off here, but it looks like just pausing it immediately, Mo did a good job of taking away this right side with the double flat, it looks like. But Mo needs to know, hey, I got double flat or whatever over here. I don't need to be worried about the flats. Look how wide his deep zones are. His deep zones are really, really wide. But you need to know your coverage. If you have double flats on both sides, where are you weak? It's right here. And Skimbo, just tendency-wise, Skimbo loves running those he'll always have a seam streak by one of those receivers on the bunch side, whether it be the tight end, whether it be the point man. He'll almost always have one of them on a streak down the middle of the field. So you need to have a seam defender there, or else he's gonna bust you in the seams. That's exactly what happened right there.
Twice.
Mo back in tight flex. That's questionable. That's just Mo trying to force it right there. He blocked 7, rushed 3, or send 3 out on routes. He playmaker Chad Johnson. Just throw to Chad Johnson. Right here. He's wide open. Just throw it. Inside pass lead. Put the ball like right here. Rat catch it. Possession catch it if you don't want to get hit. Whatever. Just don't throw it to the route Skimbo's glued on. The only thing I could think of is he thought Skimbo would peel off. And so he tried to get too cute and mind game him really hard. But Skimbo just stuck to the route. And Mo fell for it. Threw it straight at him. So questionable read right there for Mo when he had a wide open receiver over the middle of the field. So Skimbo back to this corner strike. Looks like the same play that he scored on possibly. Ends up having to throw it away. Good defense right here by Mo. Having basically everything locked up. He's got, this flat locked up. He's usering over the middle right here. He isn't weak in the seam anymore. He's got a defender in the seam, and then it looks like he's got a cloud flat over here playing this corner out, and it looks like he manned up this man on the tight end. So Skimbo really has no reads. It's only hopes of playmaker, but the pressure gets there, so you just got to launch it out of bounds. So good defensive setup right there by Mo. So he's going verticals here. Nothing open. He's probably going to have to throw the ball away again, and he does. So 2 good defensive plays right there by Serious Mo. Skimbo blocking 6. Playmaker. Good user by Mo right there, and Skimbo has to throw it away again. Insane user, actually, by Mo. Following the deep in route and then peeling off for the playmaker up the field. Really good play right there. Skimbo, I wouldn't have thrown this route. This receiver's waving his hand, but that's kind of tight. This man could jump it, or even if you do throw it and he gets his hands on it, odds are he's going to get hit and drop it. So I don't think it's worth the risk. Just throw it away. You're at the 39. He should be able to kick a field goal here. He's got Steven Goskowski. Go up by 17. So definitely a good defensive stand right there by Serious Mo over those 3 plays. Keep playing defense like that and get something going on offense, and he'll be right back in this game. A couple HB draws there. Picks up a first down. Like I said earlier, HB draw the only running play out of that tight flex. Right here goes with the bench. You see the double flat, and you see the double corners breaking right now. Low pass to the side that Skimbo is not usering. So Mo identifies, okay, Skimbo's users right here. Throw it to the other side. That's exactly what he does. Bam, dot, 11 yards. Super tough to defend against this year.
Just happened to drop the first one, and a big part of that is because Skim likes to send these edge rushers, and that leaves these seams open quickly after the snap.
Play action.
So, yep, okay, that's what I was about to say. I see seam defender wide open, and this should happen. If Skimbo has to run off and use a different route, Skimbo's been sitting in this DB Fire 2 press basically the entire game, and he'll always rush like 4 or 5, so basically his defense is he'll have flat zones, he'll have the 2 deep zones, and then he'll only have like 1 or 2 guys left to take away other routes. So like right here, it looks like hook zone, and then Skimbo's usering. So Mo, with the good read, just had to pick whoever Skimbo didn't user, just throw it to them. And that's what he did. Inside pass lead, split the safeties, gets him down to the 25. So good drive from Mo. Looks like he's adapting on both sides of the ball right now with his defense and then now his offense on this drive. Right here, block 7, check it down, good read, get down, pick up 10. Mo playing really well right now on offense. Power O, Ivory runs over Joey Bosa for the first down. So back in tight flex, I'm not sure how good tight flex is in the red zone. HB draw. Okay, well, it's really good if you can just get 11 yards on a draw. So good play call right there by Mo, knowing that Skimbo's dollar defense has been susceptible so far in the first half to that draw play. And Mo gets in with Chris Ivory. So 10-point game here. Now it's really heating up. Looks like Mo's adjusting and downloading some of Skimbo's tendencies and really making these adjustments. And right as I say that, that happens. And once again, Mo just doesn't have anybody cross-manned on this man. You have to man somebody up on that route. Nobody's manned up on him. There's only deep zones down there. You can't defend that route with deep zones. It's not going to happen. They'll never play it.
So Skimbo throws a bomb, and Serious Mo drops the S-bomb.
Good defense right there by Mo. Shutting down. Skimbo went corner strike. Flood on the right, flood on the left. Mo did a good job. You'll see this more and more this game. He'll shoot to the flat and then peel off and come back towards the middle. Try to use anything that might be happening over the middle of the field. Mo recognizes that there's nothing happening over the middle of the field and just immediately takes off running for Aaron Rodgers here. Forces a Skimbo slide down.
Drives down.
Keeping us up to date.
Fourth quarter.
Let's see if Skimbo can put together a touchdown here before halftime. Good read out to the flats.
Big hits.
First down on the sneak. Skimbo still 2 timeouts here. Good user by Mo. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Mo had everything really locked up. Looks like he had a manned-up defender on this tight end right here. Skimbo goes with the high point. And, I mean, that's about as good as you can play it. You have a guy draped all over him. Jimmy Graham just high points it and holds onto it in traffic with that animation. That's just rough. That usually doesn't happen. So, bad break right there for Mo. But, sometimes Madden's good, sometimes Madden's hard, you know?
The belt a few times.
So Skimbo up 17 at halftime. Pretty commanding control. Mo coming out nickel. So he started the game in the 4-6, and now he's kind of transitioned over into this nickel look. Skimbo obviously still in bunch. Ooh, bad read by Skimbo right there. Mo sends 6. Skimbo kind of makes a rushed read. Maybe he thought he didn't have time. He obviously thought this man was playing a cloud flat, but Mo put him in a hard flat, knowing that probably, you know, I'm sending 6. Let me cover everything short and hope the pressure gets there before the other routes can develop. And that's exactly what happened. Skimbo forces a read, gets fooled by the cloud or by the flat zone, and Mo's right back in the game.
The third. Just what the
So double draws, gets him a few yards, 3rd and 6.
But regardless of what happens on this drive, it's still going to be.
And that's a high point to Moss. Oh, that was a tough catch. I guess that kind of makes up for the Jimmy Graham catch by Skimbo before the half. You know, they both now have high points in coverage while getting hit in the end zone. So Mo back out in this nickel. Probably going to look to keep sending pressure on Skimbo here. Now, something interesting. I don't know if Mo messed up his alignment or if he did this on purpose, but usually this nickel back is right here. In this case, he's not on the line of scrimmage, so that could signal to Skimbo, okay, I don't have to worry about pressure off the left edge maybe. Maybe it's only coming off the right, so we'll see post-snap how it looks. So Mo actually disguises it well, does it off both sides still, and this time doesn't have a hard flat. Skimbo hits the table route out the backfield. So interesting adaptation there. We're going to miss this play, but it looks like a big play down the sideline from verticals against nickel blitz. So what I can tell you is if it was verticals against nickel blitz down the sideline, it was probably this wheel route right here, and Mo just so happened to not have anybody manned up on this guy, and so Skimbo probably flooded this side of the field deep and put this safety into a predicament where he had to pick one. He picked the seam. Skimbo hit the wheel. That's probably what happened.
Still moving, and most people in this situation would be looking
underneath to Chad Johnson. Good read by Skimbo. Mo forced to drop back with that seam route since he's in this cover 2 style defense and didn't man anybody up. So Mo picks the lesser of two evils, I guess, because you'd rather him check it down to the end route rather than throw a seam buster down the middle of the field. Obviously, you always have a potential for a big hit. Mo misses it, and Skimbo gets down.
plays on defense, but it's been proven.
So Skimbo blocks 7 immediately. Anytime Skimbo blocks 7, this is the play he's running. He's running verticals. He basically will block 7 and sell out and say, I think you're in cover 2, so you know I'm gonna try and catch you here, catch a nap. And so he'll do this wheel route, this seam route, and then he'll have a backside check down in route. But he really wants to hit this wheel route down the sideline. It looks like that's what he's going to be able to do. He gets the time in the pocket. Mo sends, looks like 5, and doesn't get any pressure, so he's got to roll out. Skimbo rolls out, rather. And as you see right here, this flat zone stops falling back with this wheel route. Mo identifies it. Good identification by Mo. Like at the snap of the ball, you saw his user immediately just dart over here, but he's just a little too slow. And Skimbo makes the good pass lead for the touchdown there. So the cover 2 buster for Skimbo pays off. So Mo maybe needs to get a little less predictable with his coverage shells so that Skimbo can't confidently just block 7 and say, okay, I know you're running cover 2. This is going to work.
The serious Mo, but he did it flawless.
Screaming off the edge for Skimbo here. Mo going with this. Whenever Mo motions this man over, it's basically he basically runs the same concept every time. He'll go the streak, and then he'll have a delay flat route, it seems like, and then this man's running like it's a deep crossing route, but when you motion it over, it becomes kind of like that deep corner. And then what he'll do is he'll either like hitch this guy or put him on an in route. Basically, he wants to make that guy his playmaker receiver. So that's kind of what Mo likes to do out of this set on that motion. But that's definitely a play that you kind of need time to develop, whether it be that deep corner route or whether it be the playmaker underneath. So Skimbo screaming like that will definitely disrupt Mo's plans to kind of let that play develop.
In the slots. Yeah, they both come that time.
Same thing again. Good read by Mo. That was the read he needed to make earlier when he threw the pick. You know, it's the same exact case right here. Beautiful pocket presence by Mo, by the way. Like insane pocket presence to step up right here, be 3 yards away from a spy. Skimbo didn't even send the spy at him. The spy's just staring. But this was the same exact case earlier. Whenever Skimbo threw the pick, Mo threw the pick. Mo threw this route earlier, I guess because he thought Skimbo was going to peel off and play this route, but this time Mo showing that he learned from his mistake and hits Hopkins over the middle. So good read right there by Serious Mo.
As it winds down.
Skimbo still screaming, it would appear. Looked like Mo tried to run a similar concept to the left side, so it looks like he wants to run that to the wide side of the field. Skimbo sending 5. Good check down by Mo right there. Gets a truck and a stiff arm and picks up about 17 or 18.
Pressure up here and there. It now becomes a situation where as a Madden player.
It's like same play. So that's a good play to run that shallow drag route. If he doesn't have it cross-manned or if this man isn't in a hard flat, you'll be able to hit this, right here and rat catch it, get upfield and get, decent chunks of yards as you move downfield. So something Skimbo, Mo's hit it twice in a row now. Skimbo needs to adjust to it.
Again, big tight end underneath the coverage, and
there's the low corner route right there to Randy Moss. So you see a lot of things you have to worry about out of this tight flex. I see why it's become more and more popular kind of as the years gone on. A lot of tough route combos. You have to worry about this bench with the double flat and then the double corners. You have to worry about that PA post shot play is really good where you get this man running this deep cross and then you have like a post behind it and then you it's the play you just saw Mo hit the double drags onto the tight end. A lot of crossing routes that get in the tender spots of the zones. You have to worry about that. The draw's pretty good. Draws are a pretty decent run this year against a lot of the defenses, a lot of the overloads you see. And then Mo obviously has his other little play where he likes to motion over, make the trips on the side, and then he has the backside in route and then the deep flood on that right side of the field. So I can see why this could be a very difficult offense to defend, which is why it's kind of more impressive. Skimbo was able to do a decent job of locking it up for the most part.
Underneath the coverage, but I'm hearing game number
draw play to Ivory right there. You see it matches up pretty well against these wide splits. I mean, these draw plays, Skimbo's rushing 5, yes, or rushing 4. It looks like he's dropping this man back into a spy. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. But, Skimbo rushing 4, but these guys are so far wide, they have no impact on this play. So you're really running the ball, this draw, against like a 3 or 4 man box in the middle of the field. And so as you see, just a lot of room right there for Mo to run with Chris Ivory, who's, it might be the base Chris Ivory, 76, 77 overall. Right there, Skimbo tries to diagnose it, shoot the gap, doesn't do it. Ivory bounces off 2 tacklers and walks into the end zone. So big drive right there for Mo to make it a 10-point game once again.
In this situation, Mo has obviously used them.
Base from Skimbo picks up a yard or 2.
Serious one.
And Rogers gets rid of it.
Ooh, I don't know about that read. Let's see what happened on this play here. So we got, looks like nickel blitz from Mo, sending 5, maybe? Yeah, he sent 5, he got caught on a lineman. So he got caught on this lineman and then peeled off. And he's peeling off right now. But corner strike from Skimbo, but it looks like Skimbo kind of got, I don't want to say he got flustered. I'm not sure exactly what happened. But you see the corner strike, you see the flat route, you see the corner route. And he likes to do this, he won't block anybody, but he'll have floods on both sides of the field attacking the sideline. So he'll have the streak and then the corner right there. But it looks like he kind of got maybe a little flustered. He saw the pressure coming, thought he could squeeze this route in. I mean, it's just not open. I don't know. I think you either have to throw the ball away or check it down to the tight end right here. But definitely seemed like he tried to force that, and Paul Krause right there. Both he tried to force it, plus he was under pressure, so his quarterback ends up making a bad throw and overthrowing it straight to Sirius Mo's strong safety, Paul Krause. So kind of a double whammy. Puts Mo right back into the game.
1st and 10 at the 40.
So Skimbo, dollar on defense. So yeah, you see the setup now that Skimbo likes to run. He sends 4, but he sends 4, and those 4 are these 2 corners off the edge, and then he'll have his 2 linemen, but then he'll drop this man into a spy. And so I guess that's his adjustment to maybe Mo stepping up in the pocket. If Mo wants to step up in the pocket, now Skimbo can just send the spy straight down at Mo. It really forces Mo to step up in the pocket because of all that outside pressure. A less disciplined player than Sirius Mo. A lot of players aren't disciplined enough to step up in the pocket. A lot of players will just draw back straight into the pass rush. So I can definitely see how this defense could be very, very effective. But you kind of see the setup. You see it's DB fire 2 press basically every time. You see the 2 deep. You see the flat zones on the outside. And then it's mainly up to Skimbo to use her stuff over the middle. And then he'll have another linebacker right here that he can kind of do what he wants with. It seems like a lot of times he just leaves him in his hook zone assignment. But that's kind of the base setup you see throughout this game for Skimbo's defense. Right there, Mo has to step up in the pocket, but let's see what happened. So he steps up in the pocket. Skimbo sends the spy, plus the pressure gets there, and Mo's kind of locked up. It looked like he had watch the wide receiver here, Randy Moss. It looks like he had him, but maybe he wasn't comfortable throwing it and trying to fit it into this area of the field back here. But in either way, good defense by Skimbo. And maybe that's something Mo saw and can take advantage of, a few plays down the line.
Gets himself in field goal range at the very least. He still needs a few more yards in order to.
So draw right there gets blown up.
Gets into a 4th and awkward.
He's got Jason Myers out of Jackson.
Good read by Mo right there, under the middle. Skimbo goes, same setup, sends 4. Mo hits him under the middle, or over the middle rather, to Chad Johnson on it. Looks like that's just a shallow crossing route. Something to note right here, same defensive setup by Skimbo, but why this worked is because Mo sent this man down the field and had this man coming in. So DeAndre Hopkins ran a clear out route right here for this receiver, Chad Johnson. And what that did is it caused this hook zone defender to drop back with this seam route just far enough to let Johnson get underneath and get open after he cleared the spy right there. Good route combo by Mo, really isolating that one hook zone defender, Mark Barron, in that case, and exploiting him. And that's a dot right there for Mo. Yep, that's a dot. Mo did this earlier in the game. He came out in this trips tight end. But you have to know, if you're Skimbo, the only other play Mo ran out of this is the same play. Like, he's only been in this formation once before, and it was this play. And it was in a similar part of the field. It was in the red zone. It might have even been on the left hash. So you know this is a play Mo wants to hit. You have to man up that tight end, in my opinion, anytime you see trips tight end like that in that situation. Because that's really the only way you're gonna stop that deep tight end corner route right there. So let's see what Skimbo's got. 34-31 now. In a game where it seemed like Skimbo was in complete control.
It always is, Scott.
And Skimbo's got the post route again. Oh my God! So that's the 3rd time Mo's gotten burnt deep on this play, and just basically instantly put Skimbo into field goal range. It's just momentum killers, man. But I mean, I've talked about the way to adjust to it. I think you have to cross man it. But Mo doesn't seem like he wants to do that. And he gets beat on the same play that Skimbo scored on. This is like a carbon copy of the drive before. I'm pretty sure the same thing happened. He hit the deep Z spot route to get downfield, and then he runs verticals to the wide side of the field to attack this cover 2 style defense from Mo. And Mo doesn't adjust to it, doesn't adjust to tendencies here, and doesn't have anybody manned up on this B receiver running the wheel route down the field, and it gets wide open once it clears the flat. So, I mean, two copycat drives by Skimbo right there, and it worked both times for him, you know, getting down the field on Mo in 3 or 4 plays. So Mo can score here and get another shot at D'ing up on Skimbo. It's definitely something he needs to take into account.
And is Skim going to finally make a big mistake in the 4th quarter?
Here comes the pressure.
Pressure's tough right there from Skimbo. It's definitely shown that he's committed to sending, you know, 4 or 5. He sends those corners basically every single down. He's going to send those 2 corners.
Here comes the pressure.
And Mo hasn't really been able to respond to it super well.
See for this ball bounces
So Canes moves the 1-and-1.
almost to the turf. Canes.
He has made a few really good reads against it, but right here it looks like he's having trouble picking it up. Blocking 6, Skimbo only rushing 4, and that man's still getting free.
Killer Mike, oh, he's
Already guaranteed.
the group. Oh, one of these guys is going to move to 2-0 in the group.
And they
A good read here by Mo. This is exactly the same thing he did the last drive on the 3rd and 10.
2-0 in the group.
And it looks like he picked up about 10 yards again. Went with the clear out route to DeAndre Hopkins down the field to stretch this defender, this hook zone defender right here, deep down the field, and then hits Chad Johnson underneath it. So a good recognition by Mo that would work again. Picks up 9, puts him in a 4th and 6 here, 4th and 5. But this is huge right here. This might be for the game if he doesn't get it. So before this play gets snapped, if you're Mo, you have to be thinking, okay, Skimbo's probably going to rush these 2 guys. He's going to, you know, rush these 2 and then drop this defensive lineman into a spy. So, and he's going to run his, you know, 2-man shell. So he's going to have, you know, deep zone, flat zone, and Skimbo's going to user the middle. So you have to have a play. He went no huddle, so you have to have a play in mind that you think can stop this. Now, Skimbo's probably going to adjust to this shallow crossing route. I don't think Skimbo would just straight up user it. I think he's going to probably try and maybe cross man. So look for maybe a cross man on by this defender right here, maybe cross manning onto Chad Johnson. So Mo needs to take all that into account before calling this play right here. So let's see what happens post-snap. It looks like Mo's going to go with the multiple crossing routes over the middle of the field here.
In this one.
Big 4th and 5 with 4 minutes left in the game.
So he doesn't go with the crossman, but he does, as you can see, he uses Chad Johnson initially over the field. Looks like Skimbo's got hard flat, cloud flat on this side of the field right here. It looks like this hard flat's going to do a good job of clamping down, taking away this drag route. Skimbo did a good job of using this crossing route initially as it crossed over the middle of the field, and you see right now he's peeling off. So as this crossing route gets into the meat of his other zone defenders, he peels off and guards another route. So super good user here by Skimbo. And I mean, I'm looking, and there's nothing open for Mo. Skimbo's got a block shed, a defender's running straight at Mo's quarterback, and there's just nothing open.
Fading back, throws it to the edge.
And Mo goes basically try to attack Skimbo's user player, and Skimbo picks it off out of bounds. So great defense there from Skimbo.
Only 10-point
Literally just had every single route in a box. So great play call, great adjustments. Nothing more you can really say about that. HB pace here. Skimbo keeping the ball on the ground.
Game.
Oh, this is
See if he scores here. If he scores the touchdown, the game's over.
Momentum.
Didn't get in. 4th and goal, okay.
90 seconds left in this one.
Gotta watch the sneak right here.
Oh, timeout, okay. These goal line possessions are just like guessing games. Like it's coin flips basically as to if right there he gets in. But like running a QB sneak against this defense is literally a coin flip. I feel like 50% of the time, you know, you'll get in like Skimbo did, and 50% of the time you'll get stuffed. So it's literally just, you know, kind of luck when it comes down to that. But that'll seal it. 17. Mo down 17 with I mean 3 timeouts, but that doesn't really matter. Just not enough time. 1:20 left. Let's see what happens. Mo running the ball. Okay, 55. At this point, I think you just play for point differential during the group stages. Try to put some points on the board. That's what RG just said. Mo going downfield, not getting it. 2nd and 10. Underneath. Looks like he throws a pick right here. Let's see what happens. So he goes for the inside pass lead. And that's something that, you know, against the cover 2, normally an inside pass lead to, say, this receiver right here running a streak route up the middle of the field would be money against the cover 2. But because of how Skimbo positions his safeties, because of, you know, this, or that's not a good color. Let's see. Because of this safety right here, him moving him up so far, and same with this one, it puts them, wow, it puts them in a much better position to be able to defend against these seam streak routes instead of them starting, you know, way back here. And initially at the snap of the ball, these defenders are going to be dropping back. So if you start way back there and you're already dropping back, you know, you're able to deliver that route really early. But since they bring them up, and it's kind of started with Mills when he started running that nickel blitz where he'd bring his safety super far up and it would defend against those quick pop passes to the seam route, whether it be a high point, whether it be an inside pass lead. So you see the adaptation from Skimbo right there. You see why they make that adaptation. Takes away the inside pass lead streak against cover 2. Skimbo's safety able to jump at Brian Dawkins right there. And that's going to be the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Definitely a great game. I think Mo got off to a slow start, but definitely picked it up. You saw how he made adjustments as the game went on. You kind of saw the brilliancy of his game. But Skimbo just super consistent throughout the entire game. 48-31, definitely a clash of the Titans. Both players, I mean, this is a final caliber game. So it was a lot of fun to rewatch and break down. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, guys, take it easy.